Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the DOXX Report. Retired, aging very well, thank you. Peptide therapy free, senior citizen receiving Social Security payments. In addition, MAGA member, proud of it. Holistic life, mind, body, spirit, fitness, lifestyle, embracing spirituality, and keeping my mind right. I broadcast from Frank. Where are you, Frank?
Del Boca Vista.
Thank you, Frank. That would be Central Florida. This is my personal YouTube channel, vlog, citizen journalism account, and my generalized social online platform. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for keeping it civil. I'm not so much in the news business, but I covered various topics. Only if they interest me. Only if they're important to me. Then I'll cover them. One person watching, but it's going to have to work. There's the hedge. Yeah, it's been AI'd a little bit, but if I put up I take a photograph of it with the iPhone, it looks great. And then I post it to StreamYard, or if I put it on Google Slides, it looks terrible on the StreamYard. So I put it into AI to just say, hey, make sure these colors come out. And so it's a little overdone. But that's what I see in my mind. What do we got today? I got up at 3. And I was like, oh, man. And I was up. I went to bed at 8. And I had to run some errands later on and mail a letter. I could put it in my mailbox, but sometimes there's 2 mailboxes out there on my house. And I never mail anything. And the other guy, I think she's trained to look at, that's the first one she sees. So I had to run around anyway and get my coffee, of course. Had to head up to Wawa. And, I love that thumbnail. Don't you like that thumbnail? I thought it was great. Look at that. El Presidente Trump and the senior citizen sharing Colombian coffee at Wawa, somewhere in Central Florida. I can dream. I have no idea. I don't even want to think about it. Anyway, so I had my blood tested. I had a blood test it seems to me like 2 weeks ago. And then they switched, and then I had a doctor's appointment. Maybe I already told you this, and they call me up 2 days before, and they say, he's not taking new patients. Well, you're the ones that you're the ones that offered him to me. So I had to pick another doctor. I had to reschedule that. But anyway, the blood test was like 2 weeks ago, and it was for an antibiotic, and I thought, but that test, the doctor wrote it. Okay, I'll go pick it up. What the hell? I got to take it twice a day, which is tricky on my schedule, because I'm up at, I got weird hours. So you have to take it with food. Okay, so now I can't, I'll have to eat after 3 o'clock. So I took it at 11 a.m., so I'll probably wake up in the middle of the night. So I'll just have to have it says take with a meal. Well, I'll take with half a sandwich and push some water. And so I'm trying to do 11 a.m. and 11 p.m., see if I can do that. But that was kind of weird. And then I got home, I showered, and I thought I was going to stream. But I laid in that reclining chair, and it was great. The back wasn't hurting. And when I walked out of Walmart today, with the prescription center there, I had 0 pain in my lower left twisted back. 0. I didn't feel anything. And I wouldn't even say, it's discomfort mostly. And if I get in the car and I go over some bumps, the tree roots up here kind of push up the roadway. And if you don't watch it, there's some big speed bumps almost in because they got these massive oak trees. In fact, you can see them right there across the golf course. See those massive oak trees? And they shoot their roots underneath. And it's like, man. But it was okay. I think divine intervention. Pasta, summer almost over. Let's see, I got to get my glasses. God's sakes. Summer almost over. It was a great summer this year. Oh, it was a different one here. I mean, there's another heat warning today. It was 110. What do they call it? 100 heat index. And I don't know. I mean, I think probably I feel better because I'm not doing the weights. I'm not knocking myself out in the heat, you know, in the fitness center. And then you go out into the heat. The fitness center is air conditioned, but I'm just doing rehab. Very, very gingerly. But I walked out of Walmart. I've been saying my prayers of affirmation into the consciousness, out into the great consciousness. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, part of it. See, what do we got? David Morens, guilty. Wednesday, August 19th, the Villages, Central Florida, USA. Terminal lucidity. Now, there's something you don't hear all the time. And consciousness. Pasta, I love fall, but really am going to miss this year's summer. Oh, great. In Pennsylvania, I'm sure it was great. I mean, I can handle summer here. I'm going to handle it a lot better when that hedge is gone. So let's say goodbye to the hedge. Yes, it's been tamed, and I've done battle with it, but it is a monster. And especially when we get all that rain, and then the sunshine, it just takes off. And I'm not doing it. I draw the line. Let's see, DOXX. I know being in Florida might be a different altitude than in northeast Pennsylvania. Yeah, we got the. It's so much further south. I mean, it can be quite warm, and then if a cloud goes over, it's not bad. When the guy was, it was a hot day when he came out, and I think he got 70 feet in length on that hedge, and he was mulling over, you know, giving me a bid. I accepted the offer, and but when a cloud came over, it was quite nice. So we chatted. He gave me a good price, and since I had to go to Walmart to get the prescription. I come back and I stop by at the POA office, Property Owners Association, and I asked to speak with this woman who kind of does the architectural review stuff, and yeah, she knows the guy, and he is the one that does the most thorough applications, because he comes in and introduces himself and say, "What do you need from me?" So he's got a real good reputation in there, and I said, well, I accepted the offer, and she said, okay, yeah, I'll text him, but so it should go through. So they know I'm not gonna add anything. He's gonna submit the plans, not me. Back to northeast Pennsylvania, summer, it's fleeting fast. Well, enjoy it. Wait till you hit my age. You talk about fleeting, fast. I am like a kid this year. We'll miss the summer in Pennsylvania. Love Super Walmart in my area. Mine's not a Super Walmart. I wonder if I can make this bigger. The texting, the text. Will it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, having a little trouble reading it. So, what else have I got? So I have my fitness clothes laid out. I'm going to do the rehab again, at least for another week, and then I'm going to carefully, get back to the weight training. Once I don't feel anything back there, But if I just lean over a table, or if I sit wrong, is bad. But I got in that recliner, and I just dozed off. I just shut my eyes and I was out for an hour, napped right in it. Great. Boy, you're really talkative today. You want to come on, Pasta? Tell us what you think about Eddie, what you really think about Eddie? No, that's a joke. Big fair coming soon to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Great fair, late September, October. Hopefully see Rufus there. Oh, really? How's he getting up there? Is he driving up there? Laughing. He's laughing at that. Now, you were great. The first time I heard it. And speaking of Eddie and the horology dungeon, Green Room, he's backed out of that. He's turned it back over to the globalists. They don't know how to run anything. They just want to be in charge and control the narrative. There's not even an avatar up there now. And now I volunteered, listen, I won't sign any paperwork or acknowledge ownership. But if you need somebody to delete the channel, send me, because when I say delete the channel, I mean the YouTube channel. Forget StreamYard. But just go in there and delete all the content. Just get rid of it. Destroy the dungeon. Bring it down. Tear it down. Tear down this dungeon. I'll do it. And if you got two-step authentication, you're gonna have to send me, so I can get into the YouTube channel, and you can go in there, you can find it. You got to dig around, but you can delete the channel, everything gone. Wipe it clean. Let Eddie go somewhere else. Pasta says it's a train wreck over there. Well, I'm chatty Cathy today. I know I say that to some guys at the fitness center. They don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, because I start talking, and I'm still over there an hour and a half now instead of 2 hours, but I'm not doing my whole routine. I got to tell you, I guess it's funny. Maybe it's not funny, but I told you about the 1%er guy. And he has some stories about the Brazilian ladies, right? And no, I better not tell that story. No, I think he's mad at me. I might remind me. I think I pissed him off. But you know what? He keeps talking about it. But okay, I'll just leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. What else? Okay, 10 people. That's cool. And let's see. I think we got a message from Green Room here. It's been hard on him over there at the. It's been a burden at the dungeon.
I'm getting older. This is really a young person's game. Yeah. I'm not as fast as I used to be. I'm not as sharp as I used to be.
That's right.
And I can still easily put Bateman in his place, no problem. But that's beside the point. I think this is going to be a channel for the youth, and it's whatever new young people you can figure out how to bring on. I mean, do we really want Morty doing shows here? I don't know. If you want to send the money, it's up to you. But I'll give it to you if you want. If you want me to handle this burden. As I said earlier, this has aged me about 5 years in 4 or 5 days. This has crushed my mental and physical health.
Nah, he's moved on. If you're going to give it to the youth, you got to get rid of the criminal element. But the globalist, they can't run anything. They can't run their own lives. They can't run government companies or anything. But they love to be in charge. And we've got more news. The holiday man, he made it official. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I'm done, buddy. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done, buddy. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done, buddy. I'm done.
Oh.
Oh! 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 Oh!
Okay, so I offered to Dr. Bob, I said, listen, and I looked it up on AI because I wasn't sure of it. But Jax is offering you the StreamYard account, but you got your own channel, so you could use your channel as a destination. And now you can, when you get in the chat, you'll be Dr. Bob. But he thinks he's still hanging on to the Holiday Man channel. He thinks it's going to go, or maybe Jax will come back. But he can always come back. But you could separate your brands. You got to get some kind of identity, because if he never comes back, what are you going to do? You're not going to carry this on forever. I offered to help, but he's not. He said something very revealing. He said, I don't do any prep. I just turn my phone on. I don't do any prep. I just turn my phone. Okay. All right. So he just shows up, is what he's saying. Pasta says, I'll remind you. Well, let me put it this way. I told him, because I don't mind a little of it, but he's always bringing it up, like he's accomplished this great. You're not in a relationship. She's a contractor. I mean, come on. Or I could say it like Kojak. She's a hooker. But he keeps. So he was going to give me his business card because he's a 1%er. He's over in Arnold's Palmer, the Villages. I mean, and they go, what's your house worth? And he goes, 1.1. And I paid 600. Oh, well, I'd like to. And I said, what? It's 3-bedroom. It's actually identical to mine. It's 3-bedroom, single story, 2-bath. But only the difference is he's in the Villages. I'm not. I'm across the street from the Villages. And we do have some news on the Villages. So we're chatting back and forth. And just before he got up on the treadmill and was talking next to me as I was walking. And he says, sure, I'll give you my card and come over. And I don't want to be over there when the Brazilian is around. No, none of that. But then I said, I won't tell you the exact language I used, but I said, how do you know I'm not an undercover agent? Or an undercover something. And then the next thing I know, he's disappeared. He's kind of the nervous type. So I think he really got shaken up on it. Well, what, dude, I mean, it's illegal. I mean, he's telling everybody what he's doing, but it is illegal. I looked up the Florida statutes. Now, it is legal for me to call up an escort and say, you want to go to a movie with me? I'll pay you to go to a movie with me. Yeah, you can do that. You can take me home even. But if there's any sexual, and you could actually, one thing leads to another, but if they find texts of payment for sex, it's over for you. So I think it'll be interesting I don't think he'll come up to talk to me anymore. Anyway. Oh, it's not going to be pretty. Pasta, F me dead, green room, wait till you get our age. Well, you're only 60, you're still working. I'm 72. Oh, yeah, I like that. Good. You could be saying, no, what I'm saying is undercover, police work activity. And I said something to the effect, well, like, how do you know they didn't plant me in here to get to the bottom of this criminal prostitution ring or something like that? And then he's just gone. And I look for him because I wanted to get his card. Elvis has left the building. That's true, I did. That was this morning. Pavel, good to see. He behaved himself. He's setting me up. Good to see Docs and Green Shroom sharing a panel recently. It wasn't awkward at all. No, I was half asleep. But I was trying to help Bob. I offered Dr. Bob some help. I think he should have his own brand within the StreamYard account, which is fine. You leave the Holiday Man there. He'll have his brand if he wants to come back, but you should develop your own brand. He's puffing away at that pipe. That's what he's doing. He's just get a new name, or you could keep you could. He's got a channel, but he doesn't want to mix the two. So whatever. So I'm just backing away. What is it? Do I still have do I still have the captain here? I don't know. Did I get rid of the captain? I think I got rid of the captain. Oh no, Captain. What do you got to say about guys like that?
Some men you just can't reach.
And what's the result?
Which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it.
Yeah. Yeah, you get those. I mean, I'm stubborn too, but at some point you got to pivot. IRS and let's see, what is this? IRS and CIA will always take it. Well, now this is local law. This is nothing to do with IRS or CIA. All he has is this one. This is his hobby. This is how he relaxes. So, but it's illegal. Come on. Pasta. Bob would do an okay job late at night stream. Dr. Bob. Well, that's what he's doing. No, I think he moved it up to midnight. I'm not sure. Pavel, why does the Holiday Man brand need to die just because Jax wants to watch more free ad-supported Pluto TV? Well, we discussed it, the health issue. It's just nothing wrong with that. Get to walk, step away from it. What I mean by brand, YouTube has StreamYard is the software that you use to, for YouTube. So in that, you can drop down a brand and you can create a new brand. So like I have two brands in here. I have DOXX Report on X, and I have DOXX Report on YouTube. So when I stream to X, that's a different brand. It has a different drop down. It has different thumbnails, different everything. And you can customize it any way you want. So what I was suggesting to Dr. Bob is since he's letting you use the StreamYard account, that Jax owns that, he could drop down a brand. I mean, I could do it. He's only on the phone, but he doesn't seem interested in it. But my suggestion is you drop down a brand and just put in Dr. Bob. Now you get your own thumbnails. You get your own, everything. And then if Jax wants to come back, let's say he wants to stream for a day or an evening, he can open his brand. And you can be co-host on that. But I don't know. He said he's gone, so that works. All right, let's 22 minutes. I appreciate the comments. Let's get to today's programming. And I'm going to bring in Jill Winters, because it is Wednesday. And we're going to get, let's listen to Jill. Where is it? Jill? Jill, where are you? I'm sorry I can't get you in the birdcage today, but you can do it from the hedge. And here she is. Jill, what's happening around the villages?
Hello and welcome to the What's Happening Around the Villages podcast. I'm your host, Jill Winters. It's time once again to add some fun and activities to your week, so let's go ahead and get started. There's going to be 2 sunset socials this week. Join an indoor fun mixed pickleball tournament Tuesday at the Athletic Club at Olympia Recreation. Then grab a different paddle on Friday while participating in table tennis at La Hacienda Recreation. Visit an at-your-service location to register for the free sunset socials that take place from 6 to 8 p.m. The Special Talented Adult Resident Program is hosting table tennis 2 p.m. Thursday at Laurel Manor Recreation. This is a free activity for special needs adult villagers living with their parents. Space is always limited. Register by going to an at-your-service location. If they have already reached capacity for this week's activity, you can sign up for next week's Learn to Fish at 8:30 a.m. Tuesday, August 25th. That activity does cost $15. If you looked at the weekly Recreation and Parks publication, you may have noticed they are accepting applications for the 2026 Fall Craft Show happening on October 3rd. This is always a great way to showcase your handmade talent at one of the biggest craft shows of the year. There's going to be up to 300 tables of villages crafters displaying their work at Colony Cottage, Laurel Manor, and Rohan Recreations. Because of the overwhelming amount of talented crafters in the villages, space is always limited for the Fall Craft Show and will be assigned using a lottery system. Applications need to be completed and dropped off to La Hacienda Recreation by September 14th. The Village's Entertainment Department calendar has plenty of options for you this week. On Tuesday, Villagers for Veterans presents Survey Says inside the lobby of Epic Theater's Old Mill Playhouse. This is a fast-paced interactive game night. Gather your friends, form a team, and see if you can guess the top responses to some fun, surprising, and sometimes hilarious survey questions starting at 6:30 p.m. On Wednesday at Savannah Center, it's comedian Kevin Farley with special guest Steve Simeone at 7 p.m. Keep the laughing going on Thursday with an evening of clean comedy, Juanita Lolita, at 6:30 p.m. inside the lobby of Epic Theater's Old Mill Playhouse. On Thursday at Savannah Center, it's Fleetwood Mac Tribute, the premier Fleetwood Mac experience at 4 and 7 p.m. On Friday at Savannah Center, catch Kiss Alive, the tribute at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, back at Old Mill Playhouse, Juan presents Comedy Magic with Eric Olson. Expect to see mind-blowing magic, high-energy comedy, and audience participation starting at 6:30 p.m. As always, you can get tickets to any of the shows I mentioned by going to the Village's box office locations, or you can go online to thevillagesentertainment.com. All right, let's see what's going on within sports this week. Golfers, if you want to participate in the September 7th Labor Day tournament at Havana Country Club in a mixed doubles team event scramble format, registration is open until August 27th. Just visit Havana Country Club for additional information and to register. With the new school season underway, high school sports teams are back in play tonight. That's August 17th. The Villages High School volleyball team will host Vanguard at 6 p.m. On Tuesday, the Villages boys golf team will be hosting Bishop Moore at 1:30 p.m. Then the Villages volleyball team will host Mount Dora at 6 p.m. On Wednesday, the Villages boys and girls bowling teams will host Umatilla at 3:30 p.m. at AMF Leesburg Lanes. On Thursday, the Villages swimming and diving host Citrus, Eustis, and Umatilla at 4:30 p.m. And the Wildwood Middle High School volleyball team will be hosting Leesburg at 6:30 p.m. Come Friday, the Villages High School football team will host Sever Hills, while the Wildwood Middle High School football team will be hosting Marathon. Both of those games will kick off at 7 p.m. Friday. All right, as always, these are just some of the exciting things going on this week around Florida's friendliest hometown. Join me again next week to find out what's happening around the Villages. Have a great week.
Thank you, Jill. Around the Villages. Pickleball. Get hurt playing pickleball. Comments. I find it ironically enjoyable that Dr. Bob just continues using the same brand long after Jax has given up. Well, he was quite explicit about it. Done. You have to ask Dr. Bob. I offered my help, but that's it. I mean, if he doesn't want it, and he doesn't do any. He's hanging on for some reason. I mean, you can still have. I guess you got the, but why not build your own? I can't understand him. I don't understand, so I just walk away. I'm an observer, just like you. Oh yeah, he has. And again, for the record, he didn't approach me. I approached him for the StreamYard. That was my idea. He didn't shake me down. Some guys really shook. He shook him down for that month. No, he didn't. You've done a lot. Yeah, he does. He appreciates it, I believe. You've done a lot for Jax. Hopes he appreciates it. I'll leave it at that. Not a Jax fan, to be polite. Okay, well, thank you. Civility now. Thank you. He may be using the MacBook Genio. I don't know. I mean, you can use it to listen to the streams. I use my, I'll turn off my television, especially if I'm listening to something of a narrative on YouTube of just guys talking. It sounds a lot better with the earplugs or the earpods. Wired earpods, and I just put it in my, what do I have? I have a Mac, an iPad Air. But the MacBook Neo is a full operating system. Pavel, the MacBook Neo gently rests unused, hurtling towards the sweet release of obsolescence. He's probably already set it up and using it, I would hope, I would think. Boy, it's hot out. I hear thunder. I don't know if it's going to make it here. That'd be interesting if it did. All right, back to the Villages, baby. The actions at the Villages. A day like this, you jump in the pool. What if you don't know how to swim?
We're on the go at the Olympia Sports Pool for Adult Learn to Swim. These classes have been around for over 10 years, helping villagers who want to learn how to swim confidently with one-on-one lessons from a fellow villager who helps the beginner in getting confident in the water all the way up to mastering different types of strokes.
Well, we've been running the class for about 11 years now, right? And the adults that come here to learn how to swim, there are a whole range of their capabilities. Some are afraid of the water, some can swim. And our goal is to teach them how to be safe in the water at whatever level they're at. If somebody is a beginner, we get them to a point, we start them in the water, we have them dunk their heads, get used to going into the water, back up again, into the water, back up again. If they're comfortable with that, then we get them floating on their stomach, get them floating with their faces down. We get them used to that. And we just go through those steps with people. And if people can do those things, they will reach a point probably where they can't do something. And that's where we start with them. We have 20 slots open every month from April to October. It's taught the last week of each month on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we have 20 people sign up, and we might get 15 to show up. Depends on the week. But anywhere from 15 to 20. If you ask any one of the instructors here, it's very rewarding watching people learn how to swim. Just really rewarding. We love doing it. It's very enjoyable, and if people want to learn how to swim, this is the class to take.
If you'd like to learn more about Adult Learn to Swim, a schedule of classes is found on the socials calendar at districtgov.org.
On the go in the villages, I'm Whit Watson.
We don't have that kind of a beautiful pool over here at Del Boca Vista, but they have an inside pool. I think I've been in it one time, and I just sank like a rock. I mean, as a kid, I would just, I could run, tread water, but I think I just had much more energy. But I think it's the muscle, it's a real struggle to stay on top of the water. Comments? I highly doubt that. What, that he's using it? Well, Pavel, you got to get Jax off your mind. I mean, let it go. Let's see. He refused. Well, and then there was some burping over there. You get that burping sound? I don't know what that is. He refused to use it even while facing constant audio issues that drastically lowered the production value of his program. There's UNC. Whatever. All right. We got a couple more clips. Just two. Let me switch that around. All right. What if you get hurt playing pickleball? How are the hospitals here?
Good news for local hospitals. According to a new survey, more than 8 of every 10 patients are willing to recommend our local hospitals to others. That's based on their own experiences. That figure is found in the latest U.S. News and World Report's annual hospital rankings. Local hospitals received high grades in more than 6 categories: UF Health Spanish Plains, UF Health Leesburg, Advent Health Waterman, and Advent Health Ocala. They were all rated at least 3 out of 5 stars in regards to patient experience.
Oh, okay. Because you want to be well for all the entertainment. Village News Network. It's hard to me to see a bunch of seniors going to AC/DC and rocking to Highway to Hell. I don't get that. All right, that ends the Village. That's your news on the Villages. What else have I got for you? Boy, there's thunder out there. Maybe we'll get lucky. Let's see. Okay, what do we? Oh, let me get my outline. Okay, there's the Villages. Oh, I'm going to discuss one Melissa Ganny English. She was the ex-financial secretary of a Baptist church. Now wait till you listen to this. I mean, I couldn't believe this. You can find her on YouTube. I mean, so I wanted to get an update on this woman. So where did I go? Did I go to Grok? No, I went to ChatGPT. Let's see. She's a woman that was employed by a Baptist church in Florida, financial, whatever I said she was. Guess how much she embezzled? Well, you're going to find out. ChatGPT said, oh, you're remembering Melissa Ganey English, also known as Melissa Ganey Roden, Shoden, involving Amelia Baptist Church in Fernandina Beach, Nassau County, Florida. One detail is that the theft occurred in October 2024, but she was arrested in April 2025, not 2024. So she was, for years, taking money from the church, and then they brought in a couple auditors. English was the church's financial secretary and had responsibilities for its financial records for about 11 years. Authorities allege that between January 2019 and October 2024, she diverted more than, wait for it, $570,000 of church money to personal expenses. Investigators say she had a church credit card issued directly to her and also had access to payroll functions. The alleged amounts were approximately $40,000 in 2019, $90,000 in 2020, more than $100,000 in 2021. See how she got braver and braver? Nearly $125,000 in 2022, just over $123,000 in 2023, and more than $90,000 in 2024. What'd you do with all that money? Now, she's had a couple husbands, so I'm thinking, I mean, if you're married to this woman, you know she's not making that kind of money. I mean, I think they must have been on it too, but there's no talk about that. The spending allegedly included Amazon and Walmart purchases, hotel, airline tickets, cruises, Airbnb rentals, SeaWorld tickets, concerts, baseball tickets, shoes, and even a helicopter flight over the Grand Canyon. Now, I watched the cops go to, I think it was her daughter's home her son-in-law, and there was a guy there. I think that's the father-in-law. Anyway, and the daughter was asking all these questions. You know, they want your mother, and she, oh no, she's taking care. No, we're going to see them Monday. No, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like raising my voice to the television. You don't need to know what's going on. Your mother's being arrested. She's going to go get booked. You know, but they were so gentle. I think even the cops were Baptist, but it's like, you know, she's a thief, allegedly a thief. And so the daughter, you know, and then the wife, the one cop, the sheriff, they're from the sheriff's department. He goes to handcuff her, and the other one goes, no, you don't have to do that. I think, yeah, you should have done that. You know, just for the daughter. But anyway, she was taken in. But she wasn't happy about it. Wasn't happy about it. I'm thinking, like, you know, you didn't know that was wrong? The scheme was discovered after two members of the church financial committee reviewed the accounts in October 2024 and noticed the balances were substantially lower than expected. Okay. The church fired her and hired an outside contractor to examine transactions dating back to 2019. Wow. A warrant was issued on March 25th, 2025, and English was arrested in Baker County, and I watched that. She was charged with grand theft of $100,000 or more, which is a first-degree felony under Florida law. What happened with the sentence? Well, this is the important part. I cannot find evidence that she was yet received a final criminal sentence. As of the most recent reporting I found, the criminal grand theft case is still unresolved. What's the problem? A jury trial had originally been scheduled for April 2026. However, there's been a significant restitution order. On June 3rd, 2026, a judge ordered English to pay $20,000 to the Baptist Church within 60 days. After she took over $500,000, I'd pay that. You want 20? I'll give you $20,000 for $500,000 as an initial restitution pay. Initial. The court specifically indicated that this was only part of the amount potentially owed and that further restitution could be ordered. The June order did not dispose of the grand theft charge. She got to go to jail. Hello? So the defendant is Melissa Gainey English, also known as Melissa Gainey Roden. She's about 45 years of age. The Baptist Church, Fernandina Beach, Florida. She was a financial secretary from 2019 to 2024. The alleged amount that's missing more than $570,000. Grand theft, first-degree felony. She was arrested April 2025. There's no sentence. I don't think she's had a jury trial yet. So I'm going to keep my eye on this case. If she gets off of this, man. I mean, if that would have been a guy, if that would have been her husband, they would have taken him away in cuffs. Absolutely. I think we're going to get some rain. Great. Oh, she has pleaded not guilty. And there's the defense attorney, Nicole Jameson. The judge initially scheduled jury selection for April 10th, 2026. That's come and gone. So, anyway, I thought it was interesting. Stealing from the church. Let's see, the alleged methods were not limited to simply swiping the church credit card. Investigators say the transactions included unauthorized church credit card purchases, payments towards her personal credit cards, additional payroll payments she allegedly issued to herself. According to, and then she was let go, okay? They called her in and they fired her. According to the reporting based on the investigative documents, when the church confronted English, she admitted wrongdoing to church officials. This is separate from her criminal plea. In court, she has nevertheless entered not guilty, as she is legally entitled to do. How much prison time could she face? Well, it's a first-degree grand theft. First-degree felony carries a statutory maximum of 30 years in state prison. Maximum incarceration, 30 years. I mean, how do you get out of that? She knew that was wrong. What's she going to plead? I mean, how's she going to beat this one? Okay. Now, that was just my personal... I want to know what happens to this woman. Okay, back to... Oh, well, how do I find this? Outline. Back to my outline. So let's get rid of Melissa. Okay, now just a little... There's no political stuff, except I guess we can finally talk about this. I'm taking a chance with YouTube, but we have to discuss David Morens. Now, who is David Morens? Well, you can do that. Maybe she pled that she communicated with God, and well, I think she's going to do the devil made me do it. You know, it'll be something, or she's got some kind of. Listen, I have a sister. I mean, that's all spend. And if she don't have the money, wants the money. Last I checked, and I haven't checked for a while. On her second husband, she's had 7 years bankruptcy. 7 years bankruptcy. So I think it'll be the devil. The devil made me do it, or something. But she got to go to jail. To hell with the daughter. Daughter's grown and married. There's got to be consequences. Speaking of consequences, who in the hell is David Morens? Well, I'm going to tell you. First of all, let's invite David Morens to the hedge. There he is. There he is, skulking around the hedge. There he is. Who is David Morens? His government position? How is he related to Anthony Fauci? And what crimes did he plead guilty to? Yes, he pled guilty. David M. Morens is a physician and infectious disease researcher who spent many years at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, part of the NIH. So let's just call it National Institutes of Health, NIH. From 2006 through 2022, he served as a senior advisor at the Office of the Director. According to the Justice Department, his duties included advising senior NIH leadership on infectious disease policy, epidemiology, research issues, and briefing material. His connection to one Dr. Anthony Fauci was professional and direct. Fauci was the longtime director of NIH, and Morens was a senior advisor in the director's office during Fauci's tenure. Contemporary reporting commonly described Morens as a senior advisor to Fauci. Fauci has said Morens was not one of his closest advisors and criticized Morens' use of private email. But Morens unquestionably worked with Fauci's leadership office. Well, let's hold off on that. Because here's what Fauci, when he meets Congress, he was directly asked about David Morens. And what did Fauci have to say?
Did David Morens ever bring documents to your house?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did you ever receive work-related communications on that Gmail account from David Morens?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did you preserve any work-related communications on that Gmail account from David Morens?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Did David Morens ever provide you with documents outside of those two ways that would violate NIH policy for FOIA compliance?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under.
Fauci pleaded the Fifth.
Fifth Amendment, right? Okay. What Morens pleaded guilty to? August 18th, yesterday, Morens pleaded guilty in federal court in Maryland to one felony conspiracy charge, conspiracy to commit offenses against and to defraud the United States. The conspiracy involved deliberately evading the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, and federal records requirements concerning communications about coronavirus research grants. According to the guilty plea, Morens admitted that he and others agreed to move government-related communications to his personal Gmail account, so those communications would be harder to obtain through FOIA requests. The communications included non-public NIH information, efforts concerning restoration of terminated bat coronavirus research grants, drafts directed toward NIH leadership, and information being passed through a back channel to senior NIH leadership. The Department of Justice says those communications were federal records that should have been created and retained on government systems. There was a gratuities component to the admitted conspiracy. DOJ says Morens and co-conspirators conspired regarding illegal gratuities. Morens received wine for his behind-the-scenes assistance, and the co-conspirator discussed providing additional benefits such as meals at Michelin-starred restaurants, whatever that is. I don't eat there. Department of Justice says Morens identified writing a scientific commentary supporting a natural origin of COVID-19 as an official act he could perform to deserve the gift. One distinction is important. Morens did not plead guilty to every crime in his original indictment. Okay. In April 20, he had also been charged with destruction, alteration, falsification of records, concealment, removal of records, and aiding and abetting. He got off of those. Those were charges in the indictment. His August plea was specifically to the conspiracy count. He's still going to jail. He faces a maximum of 5 years in federal prison with sentencing scheduled for November 12th, 2026. All right. Well, let's go to that indictment, shall we? Let's get rid of this guy. And let's get the proper background. And let's go take a look at it. Oh, there we go. I'd like to read the actual, because you don't know about AI. And here it is, August 19th. Oh, that's today. No, that's when I made the folder. No, this August 18th. Okay, yesterday. A former senior NIH official pleads guilty to charges connected to concealing federal records during COVID-19 pandemic. Greenbelt, Maryland. Can you see this? I hope you can see this. Yeah, you can see this. A former National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases employee pled guilty in federal courts today in a conspiracy charge stemming from a scheme to evade Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) requests and the Federal Records Act in connection with communications about coronavirus research grants. David M. Morens, 78. Now, you get a 5-year sentence, and you have to, that's quite a bit when you're 78. Of Chester, Maryland, pled guilty to conspiracy to commit offenses and to defraud the United States. Morens served as a senior advisor in NIH Office of the Director from 2006 to 2022. Kelly O. Hayes, U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland, announced the guilt. Now, do you see this on ABC, NBC, CNN, BBC? You see this at all? Sky News? Of course not. Not. The front. Now, if Trump drops a taco on the street or he spills his coffee, it'll be on the front page of the New York Times. Announced the guilty plea with Special Agent in Charge Jimmy Paul, FBI Baltimore Field Office, Special Agent in Charge Marcus L. Sykes, U.S. Department of Health and Human Resources Office Inspector General. According to his guilty plea, Morens, co-conspirator 1, okay, there's Morens, co-conspirator 1, co-conspirator 2, and other conspired during the COVID-19 pandemic to defraud the United States. After NIH terminated co-conspirator 1's grant, okay, so the co-conspirator 1 had a grant. What was that grant? It was the Understanding the Risk of Bat Coronavirus Emergence, based on allegations that COVID-19 emerged from the Wuhan Institute of Virology in Wuhan, China. NIH awarded the grant to Company 1 and co-conspirator 2, who made a subaward to the Wuhan Institute. Following the termination, Morens and co-conspirator 2 pledged to help co-conspirator 1 restore the termination of the bat coronavirus grant and counter the narrative that COVID-19 leaked from a lab. In anticipation that their communications would be requested through FOIA requests, Morens, co-conspirator 1, co-conspirator 2 agreed in writing to intentionally hide their communications from public view. There's our government. There's our government working for themselves, not for us. Not the truth. They're not interested in the truth. By corresponding using Morens' personal Gmail account rather than his official NIH email account. The co-conspirators used Morens' personal Gmail account to exchange non-public NIH information, correspond about their efforts to influence NIH to fund Company 1, exchange edits to draft, and of course, Company 1 wanted to, they wanted funding for the bat coronavirus. Drafts of letters addressed to NHA leadership for Company 1, co-conspirator 1, and back channel information to senior NIH officials. According to court documents, each of these matters fell within Morens' role as senior advisor and constituted federal records that needed to be created, maintained, and exchanged on government systems. Additionally, as admitted in his guilty plea, Morens and co-conspirator 1 conspired to pay illegal gratuities. Co-conspirator 1 gifted Morens wine for his behind-the-scenes shenanigans. Now, is that in reference to the Gmail or his personal life? Wine for his personal life? Why is this? What is this doing here? Behind-the-scenes shenanigans. This is criminal activity. It's not shenanigans, so maybe they mean something else. But I'm literal. Criminal activity is not shenanigans, okay? Eddie found out the hard way, too. And arranged for its delivery to Morens' Maryland residence. Morens then allegedly identified an official act that he could perform to deserve the gift, which was to author a scientific commentary in a prominent medical journal advocating that COVID-19 had natural origins. Co-conspirator 1 suggested, now this is an official document of the DOJ. Co-conspirator 1 suggested he would provide Morens with additional things of value, including meals at Michelin-starred restaurants in Paris, New York, Washington, D.C. Just say it had natural origins. Well, there was a guy. Who was the guy that kept saying, hold on now. There was a guy who said he kept calling it the Chinese virus. Who was that guy? Oh, it was President Trump. President Trump, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Morens is facing up to 5 years in prison for conspiracy to commit offenses and defraud the United States and the American people and the origins of the COVID-19 virus, right? Actual sentences for federal crimes are typically less than the maximum penalties. A federal judge will determine sentencing after considering the U.S. sentencing guidelines, blah, 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 and they think the work. There he is. There he is. Let's go back to the hedge. Get rid of this. Let's take another look at him. Ooh, lightning. Evil Dr. David Morens. Guilty. What are you trying to do to me, mega value customer? Cambridge University has issued a paper promoting higher taxes on single men to pay for additional benefits to single mother. Ooh, more lightning. You know, I'm close to this window. Max Carter's in the house. Okay. I mean, and California, it's given reparations. As the comedian says, to people who have never owned slaves, to give money to people who have never been slaves, and blah, blah, blah. I don't think I'll be around. Hopefully I won't be around when the socialists and the commies take over. Because that's just the beginning. If they were to do that, oh, we're getting some raindrops. Fantastic. All right, enough of Morens. Now, I think that's all I have on him. Excuse me. Let's go to covered that. Let's go to terminal lucidity. Ooh. Now this is interesting. I really like this. This is fascinating. But first of all, consciousness. I mean, science knows everything, don't they? I mean, science has everything figured out. Let's see what it says here. I asked AI, has human consciousness ever been explained? What is it? Where does it originate? Simple answer, no. Human consciousness, oh, more lightning. Science has made has not been fully explained. Science has made substantial progress identifying what happens in the brain when consciousness changes, but it still does not have an agreed explanation. They don't know what it is. But have not agreed explanation for why brain activity produces subjective experience at all. So consciousness is when you're awake. What happens when you sleep? Well, they don't call that you're unconscious. They call it sleep. And then when you get put under for surgery, you're not conscious, okay? So a useful way to separate the question is into three parts. What is consciousness? In the simplest sense, consciousness is subjective awareness. But you're going to find out so much more. The fact that there is something it feels like to be you, it includes awareness of a sensation, thoughts, emotions, memories, your body, and the world around you. Okay, scientists can study things associated with consciousness: attention, perception, memory, decision-making, sleep, anesthesia, coma, and particular patterns of neural activity. But subjective experience itself is unusual because it's directly accessible only to the person experiencing it. For example, neuroscience can describe how wavelengths of light activate the retina and visual cortex. Science will not talk. They don't really want to deal with consciousness. It's the brain activity. That's what they want to believe it is. It can increasingly describe which neural networks become active when you see red, but there remains a deeper question. Why should those electrical and chemical events produce the experience of redness at all. Okay, now we get into philosophy. As a philosopher, Chalmers famously called, this is a, quote, hard problem of consciousness. Where does yeah, it is a problem to science. It's not to those that have found God, I don't think. What does consciousness, where does consciousness originate? Okay, I'll give you the answer, they don't know. But here's the response. The dominant scientific position is that human consciousness depends on the brain. Okay. Particularly coordinated activity across large networks within the one single consciousness center. My view is, and what I've learned, and I think it's correct, it tunes in consciousness. And I think there is a shared consciousness also. Getting some nice rain here. Some rain. Structures involving the cerebral cortex, thalamus, blah, 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 more brain. Okay, yeah. This is important. The structures involved in the cerebral cortex, thalamus, brainstem, interconnected neural networks appear crucial. Damaged, anesthesia, seizures, drugs, sleep, stimulation, and neurological disease can all profoundly alter consciousness experience. That provides powerful evidence that consciousness is intimately dependent on brain function. But there's such a thing as terminal lucidity. And that they got to look at. Science has very strong evidence concerning neural conditions associated with consciousness. It has not conclusively established why those conditions generate consciousness. Okay, then they go into different theories. I'm not going to give those theories. Okay, 3. What is the ultimate source of consciousness? Good luck with that. Here science reaches its current boundary. There are several philosophical, okay, we'll get into that. Okay, just a little work on consciousness in general. Now, let's get, hang on, raining good now. Let's go to, wow, I had a different PDF file. Oh yeah, all right, here we go. What is lucid? Explain terminal lucidity, like lucid, you're lucid, with specific documented instances. Don't give plausible or opinion explanation. Just give me what legitimately can be said either. Don't give me what legitimately can be said. Yeah, I don't want them, just tell me what it is. All right, terminal lucidity is the unexpected return of clear thinking, memory, recognition, speech, or coherent behavior shortly before death in a person who has been severely cognitively or psychiatrically impaired. Uh-oh, it's not the brain then. The term is particularly striking when the impairment has persisted for years and the person briefly regains abilities that appear to have been lost. Published reviews have found reports involving Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, schizophrenia, strokes, brain tumors, brain abscesses, and meningitis. Here are specific documented cases. 1, the first bullet point here, a 15-year Alzheimer's disease case. An elderly woman had Alzheimer's disease for approximately 15 years. According to the report, she had been unresponsive, and I believe she was in Iceland. She was unresponsive for years and no longer appeared to recognize her daughter or anyone else. Okay, the brain's deteriorated. She's lost her lucidity, right? A few minutes before dying, she suddenly began having normal conversations with her daughter. She died shortly afterwards. Uh-oh. Oh, more lightning. So, the consciousness is not a product of the brain. It tunes in the consciousness, my theory. 81-year-old woman, long-standing dementia. No, this is the Icelandic woman. I'm sorry. 81-year-old woman with long-standing dementia. She lived in a retirement home. This is the second case, documented. She lived in a retirement home in Iceland and had ceased recognizing or speaking to visiting family members. During one visit, while her son was beside her, she unexpectedly sat up, looked directly at him, addressed him by name, and recited an entire stanza of poetry clearly and loudly. She then laid back down and became unresponsive again. She died approximately a month later. Consciousness. 91-year-old, third case, another case. A 91-year-old woman after 2 strokes. After her first stroke, and these are all documented, after her first stroke, she had paralysis and loss of clear speech. I got to turn on the light. It's dark out there. And it's raining pretty good. And loss of clear speech. A second stroke left her reportedly completely paralyzed and speechless. Later, she suddenly smiled, turned her head, sat up without apparent assistance, raised her arms, and clearly exclaimed her husband's name. She then sank back and died. Uh-oh, got a problem. Houston, we got a problem here. What is it? Consciousness? It's not really the brain tunes. It's not brain function. Man severely impaired with strokes for years. A 19th century report concerned a man who had been almost entirely paralyzed for 11 years after a stroke and had lost the ability to read or speak. A second stroke occurred shortly before death. 7 days before dying, he regained nearly full consciousness, spoke in complete sentences, and understood extended conversation. Terminal lucidity. Consciousness. Another case, young man with metastatic brain cancer. A man dying from lung cancer that had spread to his brain and lost the ability to speak or move during his final days, according to his wife and nurse. Approximately an hour before death, he awakened, said goodbye to his family, and spoke with them for several minutes, then lost consciousness again and died. All right, it goes on and on and on, and there's more cases here. If you'd like a copy, I'll send it to you. There is also a substantially larger modern data set. Bethany and Grayson collected 124 contemporary reports involving people diagnosed with dementia who experience unexpected lucid episodes. In more than 80% of the cases, observers reported a return of memory, orientation, and responsive verbal communication. All right, it goes on and on and on, and that's all I want to cover. I gotta take a look at this rain. We don't have any comments, and we're down to 8 people, but you're hanging in there. I think it's fascinating because I think we share. Well, let me go to my X account. I put something up there. I'm gonna, because I have it. If you're interested in it, I'm not gonna read you all of it because I know you're not interested. You have a materialistic view of the world, so you're not really interested in this, but. This is from my, well, I got to blow it up somehow. There, I'll drag and drop it. Because it ties into spirituality. God is everywhere. That includes you, your consciousness. Now, I'll just read a couple here. Because I use this for spiritually maintaining or restoring my health, okay? This is my back. I mean, I walked out of Walmart today. I didn't feel anything. It was great. It's fantastic. And I'm streaming now in the lower back currently. I mean, it's not totally, but it's there. Beingness. I am a spiritual being created in God's light, and my physical body is an outward physical manifestation of my spiritual self-reality. So everything you say, I'll boil it down, everything you say to yourself, God hears it, but then also the Spirit hears it, but your subconscious hears it, and you manifest it. So you keep talking misery, you become miserable. You keep talking health and vitality, you're going to feel much better. Balance. I recognize that to maintain or restore good health, I must maintain a balance between my innermost spiritual beingness and outer mental physical manifestation. Okay, enough of that. It's over on X if you want it. But I can't, the old saying, you lead a horse to water. Doesn't mean it. If you don't mind, I got to take a look at this rain. I want to see how much is coming down. I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, that is a heavy rain. I lost everybody. Aren't you interested in consciousness? That's your point of contact with the God of your understanding. Well, that's my God of the understanding. All right, what do we do? An hour, 12 minutes? Any questions? Any other? Do I have anything else for you? We discussed that. Just back to this, because I went to AI, because I wasn't sure about StreamYard either. Let's see. Yes, if you're an administrator, you can add, if you have an administrator on your StreamYard account, you give it to Dr. Bob. He can add his own YouTube channel as a StreamYard destination. That you can do. But I don't think he wants to mix it. But you know what? What's the point of going through this if he doesn't want to do it? I was thinking he could get some of his own investors or something, or could help him out, but he doesn't want to do anything. So what can you do? 9 people. All right, I'm going to hang out here till 1 hour, 30 minutes. I love watching the rain come down. I'm going to open the curtains. Man, that is a soaking, medium heavy, blowing rain. I can see it on the rooftops across the way. The water's going around the house. This is a great rain. It's at least a yellow cell. Let's check the weather. Severe weather. Severe thunderstorm warning. These conditions are expected to last until 6:15 Eastern. Heavy rain is forecasted for the next hour. Can you believe that? And you know, you ask the home bots if it's going to rain, and they go, "Not likely." Florida, welcome to Florida. Ooh, it's a red cell. Oh, it's That's great. Need the water. 10 people. Q&A, no comments. And if you missed it, the shroom has left the dungeon, and Jax made an announcement.
Yeah, I'm done, buddy. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done, buddy. I'm done.
One hour, 17 minutes. I'm going to do an hour and a half. Well, Stephen L., that would be a little tough to do. I mean, you've seen it before. The bird cage, you can't even see through it, and my big window here, but it's coming down good. Well, it's going to be for an hour. I guess I could try. Yeah, I'll try. Hang on. I'll go mute, and then I'll see if I can hook it up. Yeah, I gave you the rain, but like 2 people watching. Oh, more lightning. Be cool if I get a lightning strike like on the other side of the hedge. Thanks, DOXX. We have only had rain during one night in the last 2 months in East. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's terrible. I love the rain, but it's the lightning, the thunder I don't like. It's coming down good. When the water starts, you can see I have the rocks there, and it'll flow around the corner, but it's really coming down. Hosepipe ban. You mean like for your plants and everything? We call it a hose. Yeah. You call it a horsepipe ban. You mean a hose, like a garden hose? We've had a horse ban pipe for the last month. Drought conditions. I mean, there's no way they had this forecast. You know, early this morning it was, no, probably not. You know, and you can see it come in on the radar, and then it'll just disappear. But this thing is hanging around. Yes, 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 yes. Great. Did you hear any of the thunder there, Stephen? Earlier when I was doing the show? You know, I'm on my phone and I'm looking at my channel. I have the sound off. I don't like how YouTube changed that. Oh, okay, thanks. Sorry, no. Have you noticed if you're watching streams on your show now, I like to look at the chat more than I do watch the show sometimes. And now, I don't know, it's the Apple update, but I think it's probably YouTube. Let me know if you're watching on your phone. I don't like it. Because you can only see partial chat. You know, it's like, why are they doing that? I don't like it. YouTube, what are you doing? And then if you go to turn the phone, you don't get a landscape. It's very strange. I don't like the playback feature anymore. Well, we cover everything. Yeah, David Morens, yes. Give you the village news. Terminal lucidity, consciousness. Very interesting. That science, that upsets science, I'm sure. It's not a brain function. It's something else, something mysterious. Something they will never. Because if you're into materialism, if you have a materialism view of the world, you'll never get it. Isn't this great? The temperature outside is 76 degrees. So when it rains like that, it just takes the heat out of the air too. The water, it removes heat. Because the water, you know, is like 90s. The heat index is 110. And when you got a heat index of 110 and the 70% humidity, it's going to raise those clouds up. The heat, and it just comes down as rain, cools off as rain. 76 degrees. Outside in the bird cage. Oh, really? Well, on the iPhone, it's a shitty thing they got set up. Are you running, let's see, I have a Samsung tablet, so that would be Android. Chat and your view at the same time, okay. All right, thank you. I don't know, maybe, I thought it was maybe the channel I was watching, or I rebooted my phone, but I think this is the new layout they're giving Apple users, iPhone users. When it's live, oh, wait a second, maybe it's my setting here. Maybe I'm doing it on StreamYard. Don't know I'm doing it. I think it's too late to change it now. I'll have to look at that. Well, I know it was the same. I was watching part of the some of the Freaky Winders with Mental Jock, and it was the same thing. Now it eased off a little bit. That was a strike, but it was a ways over there. I don't know if you saw that or not. Did you see that lightning strike over there? On the other side? That lit up pretty well. Just don't hit my window. Stephen L., from your window, do you get to see great sunset? Yeah, not all the time. You got to have some clouds up there. And we've got some of that. I know I was watching television, and it really got gold out there. And what's going? That was the Sahara dust that comes over here, which is also keeping the hurricanes away. The Saharan dust off of Africa, and the wind shear. So we've got I guess I can say, I tell it to other people, they say, don't say that, don't jinx it. But yeah, we haven't had anything this year as far as hurricanes go. And we're in the peak season. And also, off those houses, sun rises, the sun will bounce off their windows, like right over here. So it's almost, you get to watch the sunrise off of their windows because they have their windows tinted. Yeah, there's some really red cells around the area. And if one of those passes over the area, my home, it really pours. It's coming down pretty good. Comments? Well, that's true. Pasta says, awesome. Down to 4 people. Stephen L. Has the Villages ever had an alligator visit? Yeah, I'm sure. Yes. And I talk to the construction guys or the service guys that come around, and they say, listen, I'm born and raised here. Any body of water could have an alligator. So you just got to, because they get up and walk, during mating season. But I have never seen one. I've seen snakes and lizards and the hawks, coyote, fox, opossum, not at the house, but when I went up to go into Sam's Club at night, early morning. I've seen raccoons crossing the road, but I really don't want to. I don't want to see an alligator, not around the house. Gildan Pastanetti, a grade A man. Ooh, look at this. Pasta came back from... do you have to tell me that? Because I don't eat after 3 o'clock. But I got to take some medication with a meal, so I'll figure that out. I'll take a half a sandwich when I wake up in the middle of the night. Pasta came back from Wigman's sirloin steak infused with garlic and ground black pepper and pierogies. Is that it? Gonna have me a dinner. On the grill, Weber only. Gildan to Pasta teach Eddie to cook, man. No, he's. I don't want to say. Bleep. Yeah. Grilled pierogies? Pierogies? That's not peppers, is it? Never heard of that. Are made with homemade, let's see, they're homemade dough rounds filled with potato, bacon, and cheese. Oh, that's a lot of calories there. A lot of calories. Me and Sarah, my date, 13-year-old cat who is the boss. Gildan, Eddie needs your guidance, man. And in fact, what was so funny is when Shroom goes in there to kind of break it up to protect his grade A talent, he couldn't help but laugh. He had to excuse himself. Pasta was just ripping him up. Oh, it's so funny. Marx agrees with Gilman. Well, I mean, the act, it's an act, it's a bit, but it was pretty funny, but you can't do that all the time, I don't think. Trophy for Pasta. DOXX, no, I don't want to direct it. I don't want anything to do with Eddie. Eddie's a criminal. Sorry. He hasn't left home. He's a mess. He is a mess. Mark is familiar with Wegmans. It's a nice little store. Ooh. I put a 12-gauge, 2.5-inch nail through 2 fingers today. Impaled them on the wall. God dang. No kidding. Throbbing. No kidding. Central Florida Network, starring Pasta and Eddie. No, that wouldn't. No, they're not going to work. I can't. I don't see Eddie teaming up with anybody. I looked it up. I'll say no. Don't send me any. Don't send me any. Can I buy it in the store, or do I have to make it? If I can buy it, if I can heat it and eat it, I'll try it. Mark, I have to agree with you about Eddie DOXX. I know, he's a criminal. He's just like... And see, this is nothing new. Howard Stern had the whack pack. I think that's where it started. And who went out and found questionable talent? Well, it would be, in the beginning, it was Plastique. And then it was that guy, you know, out of Chicago. Then he started collecting the worst of the worst, or, you know, just, they shouldn't be on, people with, it's hard on them, and they shouldn't be on YouTube. It's not good for them. In the frozen section? Mrs. T's pierogies. Look for them, Docs. In the frozen section? Yeah, I'll do that. I don't know, they look pretty heavy. I mean, homemade dough rounds filled with potato, bacon, and cheese. And sauerkraut are boiled for 5 minutes for a quick, ooh, lightning. Prepackaged. Now, you get me hungry. I got to go to bed. Gildan, everybody deserves a second chance, man. No, this guy never learns. You got to learn. There's no repentance in it. I remember him talking about when he was arrested, and he was laughing about it. The guy who arrested him. You know, the guy who arrested him said, "Yeah, you know, I like you. You're okay, but man, you know, you screwed up, broke the." And he's laughing. No regret. He needs to go survive. Get on it. Leave home. Leave mama, and go on. You know, go survive. That'll keep you out of trouble. Pasta, frozen food aisle, but here I get a fresh made ones. Ooh. Well, what about the sauerkraut? No bacon or cheese, no cheese, just potato is the best one. No sauerkraut, just potato? Just potato and dough. Exactly. Eddie's on his 10th opportunity. And he's got a criminal mind. He's on his 10th chance, yeah. How many do you get? Let's check the radar. I'm not going over 2 hours. Radar, well, there's a yellow, now it's kind of in the green section, but it's around us. It's around me anyway. It says rain for the next hour. That's a lot. They totally missed this. Well, it depends what time you go to bed. I am losing weight. Pasta, I don't try to eat after 7. But I gotta wait. I know I'm gonna wake up tonight because I took a little nap. I'm gonna wake up at 11 or 10. Then I gotta take the med, so I gotta eat a half a sandwich then. But after 3 o'clock for me, especially when I'm working out. So, you know, I have my coffee and then I'll eat, you know, like I had a pretty good meal today at 11. I mean, it was heat and eat spaghetti meatball, and I had some extra sauce, and I had my own, the cheese. What is this cheese you put on spaghetti? The Parmesan cheese, and I added a little rice to it. But that was filling, but, you know, that's it. Till tonight. No, I don't think that would work. Gildan, Pasta can teach Eddie the straight and narrow. Captain, this applies to a lot of people. A lot of people. Captain, what do you got to say about guys like that?
Some men you just can't reach.
Then what happens to those men?
Which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it.
Right. Or...
You're gonna get killed. You're gonna get killed.
Oh!
Oh! Oh! Oh! Oh! Oh!
That's a little extreme. That's great, Docs. Yeah, I got this scale. I'm just, I tell one guy I work out, and he goes, "Oh, don't go, compulsive about it." No, it's like financing or like, my numbers or my financial stuff. You got to know where you're at. You got to track it, and because I looked in the mirror and I go, I look sideways. I go, God, that's, I'm getting heavy. So it's an assessment you have to do of yourself. Your financial, your physical workouts or whatever, Cool Hand Luke, that's right. That's a movie. No special effects. That's great. It's human drama. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's great. It's a classic. It'll always be there. Yeah, pasta like that. Oh. That was great. B-Tech. This ain't it, is it? All right, 1 hour, 57 minutes. I guess I'm the only one streaming. That was quite a surprise with that rain. He doesn't think it's Eddie. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. What did the market do today? Well, it's not a restaurant, Stephen L. I have to agree with the diner. It is a fuel stop, but it's inside. I mean, it's great. They got a chef. They got cooks, and you punch in your order. So it's really it's not a restaurant. Does Wawa restaurant? It's not a restaurant. It's a truck stop. Well, it's a gas station. It's a combination, like convenience store. It's food in there and beverages and all that kind of stuff, and then you can fill up. But it has coffee, great coffee. In fact, I was there today. Where's my? Who was I there with? How do I get that? I think this is a great thumbnail. Not that, but this one. How funny is that? That's funny. I wish my teeth were that white. I wish I had a smile like that, but I don't. So Wawa, you go in through the doors, and they have these like screens. You just punch in your order. I'm a breakfast guy, so the chicken salad is supposed to be pretty good. They serve the same food daily, or they're a meal of the day. No, they don't. They're not. They don't serve you. You go up and just place your order, and you take it out to eat. They have metal, like that metal thing there, but they have it up underneath. They have metal tables if you want to sit there, and you get out of the sun. And it was great. I mean, I have my breakfast there, and I get my coffee and take it to go, and I can drive with one hand now because I got an automatic. Tim Wright, I think everything is down for these guys. You can't. Tim got a college degree, but he's got that trust fund. It ruined him. So now all he wants to do is be a celebrity, a YouTube celebrity, which is like the worst thing you can do. You're not going to get paid. Tim Wright streaming, but down to 55 viewers. You have to, the young guys, they should be working. Work on your career. Your wealth, for most of us, for 99.9% of us, the wealth creator is our employment. And, the 401k, I believed in it. I believed in the IRAs, and, and now I'm a 10%er on the course, on the golf course. All right, 2 hours. I think we got to call it a night. I've had it.